Oh fuck. Never mind. It's good. I can see it.
And we are back. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, today we're going to talk about everything and anything. Um, good
So
things, bad things, in between things. Let's start with the in between thing. Well, the bad thing. Did you hear about Jay Leno?
oh wow, no, I guess not. I've
Jay
been
Leno
busy
was in a
today,
car
so.
accident. Jay Leno was in a car accident and he burned considerable amount of his body.
Oh
He's still alive.
no!
Yes, he's still alive. But
Wow.
yeah,
J Lo was in a bad car accident. Jay Leno, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if anybody wants to send,
Mm.
any get well wishes or anything, now now's
You
the
know, it
time to do it.
surprises me because he's supposed to be well, not that had anything to do with it, but he's quite skillful. So I can
Yeah, I
imagine what
don't know.
happened.
I don't know all the circumstances around it
You know,
yet,
he
but
doesn't usually take those kind of risks, though. You know,
I don't know if it was his fault,
so
if it was a car malfunction, if it
mm.
was another driver hit him. I don't know the
Do you
specifics
know if he
yet.
was out in the public roads or was he on a isolated place?
That I'm not sure of.
No,
I can.
I haven't had a chance to watch anything today. I've been too busy.
Jay Leno fire.
Wow,
Let's take a quick look.
caught me off guard with that one.
Let's see. 22 hours ago, what do we have? We have he's recovering from injuries following gasoline fire, according to a statement at the hospital where he's getting treatment. Leno, he was in stable conditions, being treated for burns that he received to his face and hands from a gasoline accident in his garage over the weekend.
Oh my god, he, there's millions. Well, it's all insured, I'm sure, but wow. Well, I hate to
He
say
wants
it, but this
everyone
is
to
one time
know.
money's going to pay off for him. You
He
know,
wants to
he's
let
going to get the
everyone
best
know he's
care.
doing well and is in the best burn center in the United
Yeah,
States.
yeah. He can afford it. It's good. You know, great for him. Really. You know.
Apparently, he was an avid car collector and was working on one of his vehicles in his garage when it reportedly burst into flames. I got
I
some
wonder
serious
what
burns
he's
from the
working
gas
on.
fire. I'm okay. I just need a week or two to get back on my feet.
A week or two. He's
That's
not
what he
anywhere
says,
near
but
as.
that's what he says. But I think he's playing it nice. Um, Leno 72 canceled an appearance at the Financial Brand Forum conference in Las Vegas on Sunday, according to People magazine. His family was not able to provide us many details, but there was a very serious medical emergency that is preventing Jay from traveling. An email for the conference attendee said, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so he was,
He's probably got good fire suppression in his garage, though, too, I bet.
I
You
would
know.
assume so, depending on what kind of
Oh, yeah.
fire it is.
Yeah, but the vehicles in there, I'm sure he's got photo stuff like you would at an aircraft hangar. I bet he's got state of the art fire. Those cars are it's just worth so much money. The insurance company would probably insist on it anyway. You know, plus he himself has probably got to be insured for an enormous amount of money too. You know, so I would imagine he had, if it wasn't for all those factors, like he had a good fire suppressor system that did what it was supposed to. You know, and he was probably working on something older. You know, which just means you just have to be that much more careful. And without saying, I'm sure
Right.
he was. You know, accidents can still happen regardless how careful you are. You know,
Right.
sometimes shit happens. It's just the way it is. You know,
Correct.
and I've seen him before in his garage and the way he talks and things like that. And you get that old for a reason, you know, because you don't take certain chances and you're fucking smart and pay attention to rules and shit like that. You know, like the airplanes that collided over DFW. You know, 6 people, seasoned pilots, man. You know,
Little obscure but tragic news.
which
Have you ever heard of a band called Smashing Burritos?
kind of does sound vaguely familiar, but I could be confusing them with someone else. What about them?
Probably Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, yeah, no, I was thinking that too.
Um, they're a group. I don't believe they're a United States group, but I could be wrong.
Smashing Burritos, Peg band.
Smashing Burritos?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay. No, then I probably never heard of them either.
The lead singer was on stage doing a concert in France, and he collapsed, had a heart attack, and died on stage.
How old was he? Was he 30 something? Guess
hold
it
on,
was.
his
I
name
remember
was-
that story.
His name was Eric Kugrand,
I think I remember
He-
some of the story.
and it was today. He died. Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I believe.
He was 58. He was 58,
Oh,
and he was
no,
survived by his
sorry, my
12-year-old daughter. Okay. On Friday, November 4th, he passed away of a suspected heart attack after he collapsed on stage during a Smashing Burritos performance. So,
No, I'm thinking of a young kid.
Um,
To my age, he was a young kid. So I didn't hear
hold on.
about what you're talking about.
trying to see what they say. They were in France. He collapsed on his drums.
Oh,
The firefighters.
got to be in pretty good
couldn't
condition to
save
play
him.
drums, man. That's a heavy workout instrument.
I'm kind of curious as to where they're from. You know, like, are they an American band? Are they not? Okay, so what I got here is Smashing Burritos have a Facebook page, and I don't recognize the prefix. All about, here we go. It doesn't even say here. I would have to assume that they're Smashing. Well, they're a different. I don't know. I think they. Oh, okay. Wait. Looks like they might even be French. They might be French. But he collapsed on stage, and they couldn't. There was nothing they could do, and he ended up passing away in the middle of the
Wow.
concert.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah, has that ever happened to anyone here?
I
that
don't
you
know.
know
It's a
of?
good question. It's possible. I mean, I just don't remember, or it's, you know, I mean, there's so many musicians and, you know, performers. I mean, yeah, I would say that that's quite possible. You do a search, you know, it might take you a little bit, but
Right. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I know. I was. I was. I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, okay, I know a lot of musicians have died, like in plane crashes or what have you, off the stage. I can't recall anyone dying on the stage.
I know there was a murder in the audience.
Really?
Yeah, I want to say during the roller coaster song. And it actually made it to the album. And if you wait for the right spot, you can hear the scream. I mean, I've heard it before. Um, I don't know if it's ever been edited out, but I'm sure you could Google search it and find it. But there's been stuff like that I've heard of. Watch everybody. Yeah, right. Good luck trying to find that. Actually, I
Right.
remember the part, so I'd be able to, if you happen to have that album on hand.
Oh, the song "Love Roller Coaster" by the Ohio Players.
Yeah, I believe it was them.
Okay, so it wasn't the one by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, it's definitely the original version. And it was during a live performance, of course.
All right. Well,
What are you searching for it?
It's Skippy. I am. Song is
Better
a
be there.
subject of an urban myth.
Yes,
During an
urban myth.
instrumental break, there's a scream that
Mhm.
sounds a little out of place. It was rumored that the scream was the sound of a woman being murdered in
Yeah.
the studio.
Yeah.
According to the story, which was started by a DJ in California, this woman was a model who appeared on the album cover. She was kneeling on glass and pouring honey in her mouth. While she was doing it, she found out that the glass was actually fiberglass, and the honey reacted to the fiberglass by sticking to her legs and ripping skin off.
Oh,
She went into the manager's. She went in the manager's studio while the band was still recording and threatened to sue the band, which is when the manager stabbed her to death. This is a rumor. The
that's
band
the
left.
urban legend. Okay.
The band left in the
Thanks for that
scream as a
clarification.
cruel joke. The scream was actually keyboard player Billy Beck. Instead of telling the truth, the band agreed to coyly answer no comment when asked about the
Nice.
rumor, claiming that they took a vow of silence. The ploy worked as urban legend gave the song buzz and helped sell records.
Yeah, because I remember hearing it. And it sounded. I mean, it's hard to dispute. Did a very good job on
no.
the scream, but it's hard to hear. It's so hard to hear.
Mm.
You know, you'd have a decent sound system, I think, to hear it. Fairly loud. You know, I mean,
I heard it
head
when
back.
I was a kid. When I had the record, I heard it.
Yeah. Okay. So good. You knew what I was talking about. Good. It's not just me.
Yeah.
All right. But that's cool though. That I'm glad it wasn't real. I mean, how much would that suck? But, I mean, I would have thought too that they would have maybe pulled it or something too. You know, I mean, I don't know. Or at least covered over the scream of someone dying on one of their albums before they sold it.
Right.
You know, something out of respect. You know.
Right. But they apparently it was just one of the band members screaming.
Yeah. Right. Well, good. I'm glad I mentioned that. See how easy I could have done that?
Yep. Now, on to a little more heavier.
Uh-oh. I thought that was heavy.
You know, we go a little darker, my friend. How have you been keeping up to date with what Russia's up to?
Some and some. They've done some pretty shitty things lately too.
Are you aware that they fired 100 missiles the other day?
Yeah.
And one of them hit Poland and killed several people?
Oh, I did not know it hit Poland. I didn't
Yes.
get that far into the story. Oh shit.
It hit the NATO member Poland. and killed
Why were they
couple of
shooting so
people.
close to the border? I mean, that's just,
They were trying-
that's just stupid. You're just asking.
They were
for
trying to knock all the electricity in Ukraine so they wouldn't have that advantage.
a douchebag. What a total.
And they
douchebag.
ended up killing 2 people.
Wow.
But get this, the one missile that hit Poland killed 2 people and wounded many others.
Poles?
Yes. The 100 that they shot into Ukraine killed 1 person.
Only one. Well, that's
Only
good, but that's bad. Are you taking off? Take care. Have a good night. My friend's taking off.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Wow.
So now I have to ask, what does this mean since they attacked a NATO-controlled country?
Yeah, I was thinking that. That should mean something. I mean, if anything, they can say, oh, you just dragged all of NATO into the war.
Right.
All of them are in now. Every one of them.
Question is, will they do it, or will they say, okay,
They
it was an accident,
should.
we'll forgive you?
No, they should. Well, they should to say you back out of all Ukraine and pay sanctions, and we'll call it good. Or reparations, I should say.
Right.
Pay for all they fucked up that country. That country's in ruins. You know,
Right,
they need a
right.
new infrastructure, which is in a way good for them because at least now if they're going to put in new infrastructure, they could put in state of the art good infrastructure. It's going to last them a long time. You know,
Right.
they can go with other. See, they just have other options when you're starting from scratch. But that's expensive, man. You got to build people's homes. There's homes. They got nowhere to live. They blew up cities, high-rise buildings, or whole.
Oh, I know.
bomb holes in
I know.
them. You know, I mean,
They should
Somebody
pay
does
for
that.
repairs. Didn't we pay for the repairs in Japan?
we kind of felt bad. Yeah, but usually they should have repaired for our damages. That's how it usually works in war.
Yeah, but
The-
we
the
really
loser
didn't have
pays
that
the
many
damage.
damages.
Huh?
We really didn't have that much damage.
No, we really didn't, and we were in a position that we did okay. And the war actually we did pretty well. You know, it caused our industries to boom, stuff like that. Baby boomers, man. You know,
Okay. You know, I'm at a loss because I'm thinking, are we afraid of Russia?
not as much as we were used to, or we used to rather. Look what's
I
going
mean,
on with the what's in Ukraine. They don't have it, man. They're all
And when
smoke
I
and
say-
mirrors.
When I say we, I mean we as a planet,
Yeah, I'm agree. That's
not
kind of
just
how I'm answering.
not just
that.
the country.
Mhm. I would not be surprised if NATO does that. They should. Now is the because that doesn't mean they got to retaliate. They just need to declare, okay, we're now backing up Ukraine because of what you did in Poland. You didn't have to do that, or better yet, we're just going to Poland's aid. Everybody can stand behind. We can put shit in Poland. We can do things in Poland. So can England.
Well, see-
so can all these other countries. It's an
See,
excuse.
so I have to ask. I know they can use it as a declaration of war because somebody bombed their country.
Mm. Or a declaration of strengthening.
No. That Poland can
Poland.
say you attacked our country. That's a declaration of war. We're responding. I understand that,
But they can respond in a non-retaliatory way.
But can they really do that if Russia says, "Oops, my bad"?
They better do that, regardless what they do. They should. They should retaliate. Period.
Like if we're doing,
if that means making a declaration, I think that's what they should do. A
like if we're
declaration
doing
is enough.
maneuvers out, if we're doing maneuvers out in the ocean and we accidentally shoot, like, say England with one of the shells. I mean, first thing we should do is call up and say, "Yo, my bad. We didn't mean that. That was an accident. Don't
But
sweat
this
it."
was wartime, and they should have known what they were doing. They should have been in control of their equipment, which means their finger should have been on the button to destroy that equipment or not use that equipment if they didn't have control over it in the direction of a neutral country. This was wartime. Different. Their eyes on the ball in wartime. You're watching everything. You're counting everything because everything has a price tag on it. You have to explain every dollar to your people to justify what you're doing. So in other words, you're saying they're not paying attention to their own shit in their own war? Nah, I disagree with that. This is no ups in war. They knew what they were doing. They might have made a mistake, but you know what? What are you doing firing so close to my fucking country? You should have known better. You killed my people.
Right.
You know, what do you think that's what's going to satisfy my people? No. This is what my people want.
I told you this is going to be a little darker.
No, I don't
subject.
think that's darker. I think that should be
Well, it's a little
appropriate.
heavier.
It's just because what they should do, what NATO should do right now is Poland, we support you in whatever decision you make going forward. If you want to retaliate, NATO is here for you, the UN's here for you, whoever is here for you. The NATO forces are here for you. Or better yet, maybe NATO is the one that retaliates on behalf of Poland with Poland's permission or blessing or participation, whatever. That it should be a unified response with NATO involvement. Even if it's not necessarily I'm going to send 5 missiles over to you kind of a thing. Just for the fact of that participation alone, that is a form of retaliation. It's going to, we're going to figure out a reparation on this. We got to figure out how you pay me for this. And they have to be in negotiation with that until they can figure out a whatever, what's going to be satisfactory of how are you going to pay me, for lack of a better term? How are you going to satisfy this debt that you caused?
Right.
And that is what they would gobble up Russian resources with, is that.
Now, do you think that Biden should stay out of it until NATO contacts him?
He goes with whatever NATO tells him to do.
Right. Okay.
Because all he has to do now is supply NATO forces.
Right.
They do what they do. They're a governing. They're their own force. We just back them up with money, weapons. Well, I don't know. Do we give them people? I don't know how, but if we do, then we do. Then we give them NATO troops. But they operate a little differently than the United States troops. I suppose call them the Federation, if you will, because whatever. Because the way they respond is very different than any one country. They have to respond differently. With a different set of rules, an agreed set of rules. And a way to be. I think I'd rather have NATO coming after me than any one country, though. I guess if I was going to have someone come after me, they definitely play by the rules of war. But yeah, that's what needs to happen. That's where the response needs to come from, is NATO. But again, it needs to be with Poland's blessing or somehow involvement in that. We just can't step in. They might say, no, fuck you, we got this one. I doubt they will.
Right.
But we should say, hey, we're here if you need us. Or if you want us to beat up this big guy for you, we will. Or whatever. Which in this case, Poland should. They should stand behind NATO. NATO should take the lead, the front line role, now that they've hit Poland. I think that's how it should be, just in my opinion. You?
I don't know. I want to say that the U.S. should call up Poland and say, listen, let's do this. But in the same sense, I think it's up to Poland to decide what's the best course of action for the people of their country, seeing how they're so close to the front line.
Yeah, but I think in that decision, Poland needs to realize that they have strength to support them because of how the attack happened.
Oh, I understand that, but I'm saying the call should be entirely up to Poland. I don't think it should be up to.
I don't know about entirely.
NATO.
I'm on the fence about that one, but I'm 10% with you, I think.
I mean, my opinion is Poland needs to make the decision. Once they make the decision, they can notify NATO and say, hey, we've decided we want to go in. You back us.
Well, or I think NATO should be calling them up and saying, hey, we've already made the decision. You just give us the go. Or whatever the case may be. But there can be two ways of, all I'm saying is, yes, you're right. But the lines of communication can be fluid and go either way.
Right. But it should be the ultimate decision should be that of Poland.
I'm sure they've already been, if not, are continually talking as we speak. I bet you that's already happened. Minutes afterwards, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, that NATO had a conversation either in or out with them after that. It's just it's the most intelligent thing I think to do. Well, Poland can't take on Russia on their own. You know,
Well,
they don't have the numbers. They don't have the military. They don't have. That,
I'm kind of
that's what they rely on NATO for.
Yeah, but I'm kind of curious if they join the Ukraine forces, who have been just decimating Russia anyway.
Mhm.
Would that be enough to quell the Russian troops and send them back?
That's a really good question, and actually, I could say, it might be because of how poorly the Russians have been fighting. They've been fighting nowhere near the way a power like them is supposed to be fighting. Their
Right.
military, it's like they have all leadership and know nothing else. And the leadership is either dead or gone. They fled. They're not around. They've abandoned their men on the battlefield. So these guys are walking around aimlessly. They have 3 lines of fighting, and the other 2 are just to make sure that the first 2 fight and don't retreat. Because if they retreat, the behind lines are going to shoot you.
Right.
What the fuck is that? Where your second line of defense is really meant to make sure that the first line fights. That's not very cool. That's not saying anything good about your military. And when you pay them and you lie to them and you give them a bag of potatoes as payment, that's pretty much what they've been giving them. A chicken and some vegetables, and that's it. That's what they get. They have to buy their own shit. They had to buy their own uniforms and anything else they might want. And then they go right to the front line with no training. I don't know if you've seen the stuff where they have 3 bullets and that's all they get to fire. That's it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Try Warthog. They're pretty good at showing that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll have to see where this Poland invasion goes in the next few days. I'm sure there'll be an announcement very soon as to what they're going to do.
I just hope that that it's not held quiet, that they've got NATO or and whatever other country support openly.
I don't think it'll be held quiet, because I think they want Russia to know this is what you're up against.
Right, exactly. Yep, and this is to people, so their people can see it. Maybe they could do something. I do like that a lot of this has been broadcast. Even some of after the fact, so that way positions don't be given away and whatever. But they documented it really, really well, and the war crimes is unbelievable. The documentation that they have,
It's like the conference that Biden gave the other day, and he was asked about specific foreign policy, and he's like, I could tell you, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not that dumb as to tip my hand.
Right.
And I'm like, where was this president 4 years ago when we were telling, what did he call him, Little Rocket Man, that we were going to blow him up?
Right.
But one last piece of news, sir, and I know that you don't know anything about this, but I do, so I will take the reins on this one.
Uh-oh.
There is there's movies and a TV series, all animated, about Batman.
Oh.
And the Batman, the voice of Batman, the actor who voiced Batman, passed away this week. He'd been doing it for years. He died of cancer.
Who was he?
You know what? I'm going to hate myself because I have a headache and can't remember. So give me 1 second and I'll pull up his name.
No, it's fine. I just thought you might know. I wouldn't. Maybe I don't know him anyway, but if he did some of the other voices.
Conroy. Got it.
Conroy.
Okay. Kevin Conroy. He died of cancer this week, so that's a big loss to the comic book and animated community.
Yeah, I hope you made a few episodes.
I don't know. I know that he had been doing it for well over a decade. Well over a decade, and he even started the live action version as an alternative universe Batman.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
He was doing it up until he died.
Say that again.
He was voicing Batman up until he died.
Well, the question was, do you think he has any episodes that haven't aired yet that he's already done?
Yes. They said
I figured he would. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does.
A lot of
He
them
does.
they do. Yeah, because it's just so much. It's so much. You know.
Right.
So that they'll have time to find someone else that can assume the part they're going to have to.
Sorry, that voice from Beyond was my son.
Yeah, I figured so.
whenever you
I can hear him.
whenever you hear Batman in movies or in TV shows, animated movies, or video games, that's him.
Okay, got it. Whenever you hear Batman in TVs, movies, animated shows, video games, that's all him.
Yeah, I figured.
So, yeah, it's a heavy blow to that community. And I just want to say that my thoughts go out to
Man.
his family.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's talent, boy. You don't get to do that for that long without it, because the fans will eat you alive.
Right.
And wow, especially
Yeah,
Batman fans. He was a different character than what the movies portray him as. He's a much darker character,
Right.
And as far as the comics go.
And it's funny
Brutal.
because he played that dark character in the live action version,
Oh wow.
but he played him as retired due to the toll it took on his body.
Oh what? Oh, so what was he training a new one or something? Or
Yeah, he was. I believe it was. He was training his cousin, who was a girl, to be Batwoman. And or at least giving her advice. And he had like leg braces on and the whole the whole
man.
deal because of the toll that being Batman took on his body. That was.
yeah.
And
yeah.
he did a great performance. And I guess it was from years of voicing the actor and knowing what the
Sure.
role would need.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's cool. That sucks though,
So,
man.
yeah, it
Absolutely.
does. It does. So, I honestly don't know how to end a show like this where it's all gloom and doom. So,
You got those. It happens. But
so I
that's
guess
not really
what-
doom and gloom. Yeah, that's a tribute to a guy. That's all. That's a good thing. I mean, it sucks that he died, but he did good shit. He did very, very good things. He'll
Well,
be remembered for a very, very long time in history.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He's not going to
no
be
doubt.
forgotten for a long time.
It's like
No
Luke
one's truly dead
Skywalker.
if you don't forget about them. They're always here.
true.
True.
All right. Well, it's been another interesting show.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.